You always see and hear those people online who say reading a specific self-improvement book helped to change their life. But every time you finish it, you're unable to recall any lessons or values taught by the book, which leads you to question why you even reading them. How do other people seem to take so much away from self-improvement books when you can't? Well, this video will help you with that by providing you with the information you need so you can best extract information from books. It'll also teach you how to properly understand the lessons and values and apply them to real world situations so that you can actually self-improve from self-improvement books.
Fuck a pigeonhole.
And this video is all me, no bullshit, no AI, so let's get it, you little beast.
I'm a night owl, it's a different mode.
In self-improvement, reading books is one of the most commonly mentioned methods to learning new skills or teaching yourself about new topics. They're a great way of improving yourself because when an author writes a book, it's everything they've learned about a specific skill set or an idea or lessons or values that they've compiled over the whole course of their lifetime, and then they've published in 200 pages for you to read. However, the issue with self-improvement books and non-fiction books as a whole is it can be quite hard to learn from them and actually put the lessons they're teaching you into real world. The surge of popularity in short form content has, for many people, myself included, absolutely obliterated their attention spans. It makes reading books and focusing on what you're actually reading so hard. And this is because it's encouraged consuming content passively rather than actually stopping and thinking about what you're taking in. Back in the day, in order to consume content, you had to actually go out of your way to consume it. You had to think, what do I actually want to consume? And then you had to make the effort to do so. Whereas with short form content, you just scroll and you're shown something that you didn't even choose to see. Think back to the last time you read a book. How many times did you have to read through a specific page, paragraph, or even passage before you stopped zoning out and you could actually take in what it was trying to say? This has happened to me so many times. I'm reading a paragraph and I get halfway through a page and I stop myself and I'm like, what am I even reading? Like, I couldn't actually tell you what has just happened in the last half of the page. I'm just mindlessly consuming this book and I have to go back and read it all over again. This is something that used to happen to me a lot, and it makes reading a book double the length of time. This makes reading the book really difficult, which means you won't actually take in the lessons it teaches you. And if you're not taking in the lessons the self-improvement book's teaching you, then what's the point of reading it? If you want to just consume content passively and you want to read the book, then go for it, read some fiction, because it's actually easier to read. But the whole point of self-improvement books should be to actually learn from them, take those lessons they're teaching you and apply them into your life to improve yourself. So how do you do this? How do you combat reading passively consuming, and actually apply these lessons? Well, reading, like anything else, is a skill. When you were little in school, they probably didn't give you Shakespeare and expect you to just read it and understand every word. You probably started on Biff, Chip and Kipper like I did. You then went on to Hungry Caterpillar, and then you went on to Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and every time you read, it got a little bit harder. You progressed step by step. When was the last time you actually read a book? You chose to read a book and take it in? Probably not for a long time, right? So expecting yourself to just read every word and take in every lesson this book is teaching you first time, it's not fair to yourself. You need to be patient and actually retrain your brain how to read books. It'll come with time, but you just need to be patient. Once you've got past this stage, you can probably read a book without zoning out every 10 seconds, but you're probably still struggling long term to retain the information the book's teaching you. This is because you aren't reading with intention. Reading with intention allows you to actually take in and process the book and the lessons and values it's trying to teach you. As I said before, when you read self-improvement books, the goal should be actually to take in the lessons so that you can then go and apply them in real life scenarios and situations. If you just read passively, you'll get to the end of the book and you won't be able to recall 3 lessons it taught you, never mind actually improve yourself with them. Which begs the question, what was the point of reading a self-improvement book in the first place? So how do you read with intention? Now think back to being in school. When you were studying literature, what did you have to do to get to a point where you could recall the point the book was trying to make, quotes from it, the themes of it? You had to take notes, didn't you? You didn't just read a book in class and be able to remember everything it was teaching you. And you have to do the same with self-improvement books. Don't worry though, I'm not going to assign you an essay. Just next time you're reading a book, stop and read it slowly. Every time you read a quote or a passage that's interesting and you resonate with, stop and think about what does it mean. Whenever the author makes an interesting point that resonates with you, or maybe says something you don't understand, stop and ponder it. Every word in a book is written with intention, So what was the author's intention of writing this part? What did they want you to take away from it? Once you understand fully, keep reading the book. At the end of every chapter, stop reading the book. Grab an empty notebook and open it to an empty 2-page spread. Write a short summary of what the chapter was about, the lessons it taught, and any quotes or points from the author that resonated with you. If you can't recall any of this after reading a chapter, then this is a major sign that you haven't taken any of it in. You've just consumed the book passively, the chapter passively. You haven't actually read it at all. You've read it, but you haven't read it. This means you have to go back and read the chapter because, like I said earlier, I've said it a million times in this video and I'll say it again, you need to be able to recall these lessons so that you can apply them to your life. This is a self-improvement book, not a fiction book. Try this for a while. I know this makes reading the book a little bit longer and adds a mental barrier every time you want to read a self-improvement book. But you should be treating this like you're studying for an exam and you need to be able to recall the point. This will help you to retain the information better so it sticks in your head and you're able to remember it as well as recall it later. I guarantee you that if you do this, you'll see a difference in what you're able to remember from books. And that's it. Now you should be able to retain the information you read from self-improvement books, recall it at a later date, and use those lessons, apply them in your life, and actually self-improve from them. Thanks so much for watching, you little beast. I love you so much. I'll see you later. Bye.